When opening up Garry's Mod and exploring the add-ons, you'll come to find that there are plenty of horror maps out there where around every corner lies a predictable jump scare. It could be a picture of a ghost, loud audio, and even NPCs that randomly pop up. Yes, technically these are labeled horror, but what about the maps that were made without all of those basic jump scares? I'm talking about the ones that were made with the intent for players to create or do anything they want, but yet the atmosphere of the map causes you to feel like you're not alone, or maybe even too alone. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. The idea of this video is to find and explore 3 maps that have an eerie atmosphere. I like to think that most maps that don't offer much tend to be scarier than others. You don't need jump scares, ghosts, or anything of that sort. Well, to be honest, I'm not sure what really makes a map scary like that. Maybe it's all the alleged sightings and the stories that everybody talks about. One of my examples is downtown RP. There's the train tunnels below ground that can scare people since it's pretty dark, but even then you get such a weird feeling when exploring the top half of the map, and sometimes I wonder why that is. I have no clue. So in today's video, I'm going to see if I can find any other map that can replicate the same energy. So without further delays, let's start with number 1. Before I start number 1, this exploration will have slightly more commentary than the other ones, considering there's not much to see. This map's time cycle is set to night, so right off the bat you can barely see anything. It's going to be a little dark when exploring the surface level, but just keep watching to see what comes next. I spawn in the map and have to turn my flashlight on immediately in order to see, and I select Fist. I turn around to see a house dimly lit, so I walk on over to it. When I walk in, I'm greeted by some furniture. 2 small tables, one occupying the surface of the table with garbage, while the other has 2 radios. I attempted to click both of them, but nothing happened. I look around the room a bit more just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Seemed like the wires connected from this antenna to the little building. I spot this lever and I decide to turn it on. I really wish I understood Morse code. I wonder what it says. I leave this building again to search for more areas to explore. I stumble upon a broken down shack and make my way inside. Nothing inside of here, but I do feel a little uneasy. Nothing major though. After exploring the attic, I make my way back outside and walk around in the darkness once again. That is, until I find this weird hole. It's just a giant mine, which makes sense. I'll let this exploration clip play without commentary for 3 to 5 minutes. When exploring the mines, I almost felt like the mines would repeat, but details would be different, like a wall blocking where I thought it came from, which in turn would mess up my head. I thought it came from that way, but if there's a wall there, then I guess not, right? After 10 minutes of walking around down there and only going lower and lower into the earth, and hoping it would end soon, I ended up finding another hole with a ladder that went even further down. At this point, my head was feeling weird and I was already getting mixed up with directions in this mine-like maze, so I felt like the entire time I didn't know where I was going, even if I wanted to get out. Yes, I could have no-clipped, but that's not the point. I looked down only to see that it's nasty looking water, maybe even toxic. So I drop an NPC down there to test the waters, and he kind of just dipped down real quick. This next part causes my screen to flash white several times, so if you have any issues with seizures, I suggest looking away or going to this timestamp here to skip ahead.
Let me get out of your way.
I jumped into the water, which hurt me. Assuming it was toxic water, I take out my tool gun and give myself health and continue on. I get to the other side and climb up the ladder. Here lies some dead stranger. We can assume he was a miner based on the fact that there's a pickaxe laying beside him. Did he swim through that water only to not be able to withstand the pain, therefore passing away? I wonder what his story is and how he got here. After finding the dead miner, I no-clipped out of the map, and from these pictures you can really see how big the mine is and such. But I did notice a couple things far away from the main map, so I fly out there to see what it is. It's just a giant cross. But can I go inside of it? Nothing really happened here. If something was supposed to happen, I missed it. Is this sand or blood? Why is there an explosive barrel there? I no-clip once again to look for other rooms. I see what could be a room off in the distance and had to find out what it was, so I fly over there and found this. it appears I have found one of the creepiest places imaginable. 2 lines of Alex ragdolls, but their faces have been morphed into Nigel Thornberry's face? What even in the hell is this? That's all I really found on this map. If you want to check out this map or any map I talk about in this video, the links will be down in the description. So, was this made to intentionally scare people? In my opinion, no, he made it subtle. That is until you start to Noclip. It's dark, the ambience is really good for this map, especially in the mine. The weird rooms are pretty cool, but I wish that purple thing at the end, the weird monkey thing, wasn't there. It would have made it a little bit more creepy. That giant purple monkey thing kind of takes away from the creepiness, so still pretty good. This map has been around for a long time, 9 years old to be exact. It was created by Bigwig and was made with the intent of using the roadways or using the giant amount of space for whatever. Giant builds, cars, nukes. It's Garry's mod, man. It's up to you. You can name it. But I believe this map wasn't made with the intention of scaring anybody. There are a couple of weird Easter eggs that can be found around the map, which I will mention later. But other than that, it's just like any other Garry's mod map. So why is it on this list? For the past couple years, I would see posts on the internet about how this map would give players the creeps. Most players who felt some sort of way about Big City would exclaim that they feel weird, like the atmosphere is off. Is something watching them? I don't think so. Well then, what is it? There is a word called canopsia, which means the feeling in the atmosphere that's left behind when a usually populated area is abandoned or desolated. Here are some examples now. I don't know what it is, but for some players, when hearing the ambience of cars, people talking and other cityscape noises, but not seeing any human activity when hearing said noises, it tends to creep them out. I can understand getting a sensation like this in real life and feeling that strange vibe, but why do some feel it even in a video game? Video games can have a strong effect on the mind. Most of the time, players don't report much sightings of ghosts or claim that it's haunted. What some do report, though, is how eerie the map feels sometimes. Hearing all the noises, but seeing no one can really freak some people out. So we will be exploring the map and seeing what comes of it. I will let this exploration clip play for 3 to 5 minutes without any commentary. So, how exactly did this make you feel? For me, it started off fine, but as I slowly played through it, I started to feel uneasy, but I don't think it was because of any of the stuff I've mentioned before. Ever since I was young, I've always had this weird fear of giant buildings or structures, and as I grew older, that fear kind of went away. But at some point in my life, I went to New York City, and even then, walking around on the streets and looking up only to be surrounded by those colossal buildings, it didn't freak me out, it just made me feel so small and anxious. The fear of giant structures or buildings is called megalophobia, and I will show you some good examples on screen now. So that's what I felt when looking at these buildings. It almost made me feel a little dizzy, and I almost wanted to quit out then and there, but I just ended up walking away. Fun fact about me, I also freaking hate oceans and big bodies of water. I didn't get any other weird feelings when exploring this map. The ambience of the sirens, cars, dogs, and whatever just ends up getting borderline annoying. This is until I was able to find some weird red room Easter egg. I searched online about it and found a couple videos. Assuming it's well known already, I decided to mention it here anyways. Another quote scary Easter egg is this door. Now there's a couple doors you can go in on this map that will teleport you to the top of the building, but for the first timers that figure out how to do it, they go all over the map pressing E on all the doors, and well, they'll get a small surprise when doing so. Not much, but for someone who is unexpecting it, it could make your heart jump a mile or two. These two Easter eggs were really the only ones I found while exploring. I'm more so exploring these maps rather than deep diving into a full-on investigation, because I feel like it's safe to assume that everybody knows this map. So let's move on to the next one. This next map is pretty well known, and it's an all-time favorite vanilla map for Garry's mod. Except one thing about this map is different. It's nighttime. When researching and looking for maps, I came across this and imagined how scary it must be to go in a dark room. Whenever I go in there for too long and get spooked, I'll run back out in daylight where it feels safe. I'm pretty sure this urge or feeling we get when we see light makes us feel safe in a way. When you turn off the basement light and have to run upstairs, you feel as if something is behind you, ready to grab you and pull you into the depths of that dark basement. So before flicking that light switch, you think to yourself, I'm gonna switch this off and then run as fast as I can upstairs. You don't think about the light and how it means safety to you. Of course, that's all instinctual. But what if you were to run out of the dark room and into the safety of daylight, only to find out that it was pitch black outside? Overall, even in the daylight version of this map, it's still a very uncanny feeling, so I wonder what the night version must be like to explore. Let's go ahead and roll that clip. This was definitely a different experience from the vanilla map. Although it kind of felt a little relaxing, I'm not too sure why. I don't really have much to say about this map. It's basically the same as the original, but it's dark out. Maybe exploring this version will creep you out a little bit more than the Common Construct map. Well everyone, we've reached the end of the video. If you like this type of content, please subscribe and like. If you've reached the end of the video enough to hear this, then I appreciate you. If you have any theories or maps that you would like for me to explore, you can comment down below. I am more than happy to dedicate my time into making these videos. Other than that, I have really nothing else to say, so KidDizzy out.